This video is not about defending or attacking Renee Good or ICE. This isn't a left-leaning or right-leaning video because I lean neither left nor right. This video is about how we can all watch the same event take place and come to two very different conclusions. And no, it isn't simply because everyone is different and people just think differently. Because if that were true, there would be 3, 4, 5, or more distinct opinions. Most people do not think in a truly unique way. What usually happens is this. There's a left-leaning interpretation, a right-leaning interpretation, and each side forms the complete opposite conclusion of the other. And then, once those opposing opinions are formed, one side will call the other stupid, for instance. And usually not because the other person is actually stupid on the other side, but because they need to assert themselves as intellectually or morally dominant in order to win, at least in their mind, what is an often losing argument. Because when have you seen a mind being changed, whether they be left or right leaning, based on an online argument? Now, there was a study where left and right-wing individuals were shown the same political videos, and researchers observed significant differences between left and right-wing participants in their interpretation of the video's content. And we see the exact thing happening here with Renee Good. One video, two distinct opinions. The way most people interpret this incident is based almost entirely on their political leaning. Conservative media paints a picture of who Renee Good was, but a very basic one, and their article appears to be just the bare story, though they make mention of Homeland Security Secretary's remarks on how Renee used her vehicle as a weapon. CNN has a similar article, but they briefly mention those remarks and instead mention how state and local officials say what the ICE agent did was not in self-defense. They also make a stronger attempt to humanize Renee Good by highlighting that she was a poet and a Christian. And it's not just the Renee Good video. It's literally everything these days. The Tylenol findings, the food pyramid changes, George Floyd, immigration, homelessness, everything. Because today the social world is heavily politicized. Medicine is heavily politicized. Everything is heavily politicized, and it's exhausting, especially when you're on the outside looking in, because you can clearly see that most people are hive-minded. Their thoughts and opinions are not their own. They are shaped by those in control. Now, I don't believe that if the left-right paradigm disappeared, that we'd all suddenly live in unity. There would still be something to divide us. That's just human nature. I don't believe in kumbaya or world peace outside of the Messiah's future reign where only the righteous live in a peaceful kingdom. I don't believe that world peace outside of that is possible. It's a fantasy, a fairy tale, ain't gonna happen. However, manufactured division is weird and dumb. And politics is manufactured division. Most people cling to a political identity and fear dissent. No matter how foolish an opinion or viewpoint may be, if it becomes the consensus of their party, they will blindly agree with it. Politics has clearly become an identity and a religion. And when you try to dismantle an identity built on abstract concepts, a person's entire world can crumble. It's like a plant that grows toward the light. Normally, this is a healthy plant response. But what if the light is false or artificial or misleading or distant from the sun? The plant will grow, bend, and twist toward something that isn't real. And that's how perception works these days. People reach for what they are told is truth, and their growth and understanding curves toward that kind of artificial light. Now, most of us remember the story of three little pigs and the wolf. The first two pigs build weak houses, and the wolf easily blows them down. Their worlds collapse just like that because their foundations were poor. They trusted the system that they built, no matter how weak it was. The third pig not only avoided the wolf out in the wild, but his brick house had a strong foundation. Every attempt the wolf made failed, and the wolf ultimately suffered the consequences for trying the pig. The third pig was the only one who didn't trust in a faulty foundation, the only one who didn't build his identity on something that could be blown over. Yeah, being a free thinker is scary. You often stand alone, you make people angry, but when you stand alone, but you're standing on truth, you stand on a firm foundation. And from there, your firm foundation, you often, unfortunately, watch as those around you who built their houses on social acceptance and the beast system are devoured in the end.